Roll with it.
Let it roll. Oh,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, this is Andrew Robinson, and for some reason, you're about to listen to Keeping Up with the Cardassians. I can only imagine what that show is like.
you don't have to imagine, because we going.
You'll have to imagine the Cardassians. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Kapla.
Kapla.
Yeah. Kerplunk?
So the Cordati is the way to say. Welcome to Keeping Up with the Cardassians. This is Nick.
This is Rob.
This is Joe.
And we are here approximately 1 week before our Star Trek The Cruise. For you all, it's like 6 days before.
Yeah.
So,
By this time next week, we will be seabound.
false. Because they're going to hear this on Monday. Oh, but by next week. Okay.
Ooh, got him, Joe.
In 1 week. Yeah.
Got me. I'm proud of you. Anyways, welcome to your source for pop culture news, where we talk movies, video games, TV shows, and so much more. But as you know, we are working our way through right now. We are working our way through Star Trek The Next Generation. We're in season 4 of that. But we're taking a very quick break today on that because this cruise we're going on, it's the 30th anniversary of Star Trek Voyager cruise. Joe had not seen a single episode of Star Trek Voyager, so we're like, before we go, you have to watch a couple episodes to get a feel for the characters and who they are, and so
Do I have to?
you do,
All
you do.
right, fine.
So we picked 4 episodes. You guys, we got some feedback from you.
Most of it garbage.
Some of the feedback was really good. Well, all of it was good. Some of them were too into the spoiler heavy reviews of like what happens in the show. So we wanted to go with kind of a standalone episode. So we did. We ended up going with Caretaker, of course, part 1 and 2, and then Year of Hell, part 1 and 2.
And Year of Hell won the poll on Instagram anyway.
Yeah, Year of Hell did win the poll. Yeah,
I mean, I've heard that mentioned by you guys, and then various Star Trek searches that I do.
Yep.
But
Did the searches you do for Star Trek on our Pornhub work?
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
the plot lines vary a little bit.
Okay.
From what I saw in these 2 episodes, it was very different.
All right.
Do you think there's actually Star Trek porn?
There is. Absolutely there is.
Of course.
There's parody porn out there. This ain't Star Trek.
Yeah, but like I'd be more interested. Okay, not more interested. That's the wrong wording.
Do tell.
No,
I like where this is going.
I know.
no. I'd be interested to know if there was like people who are super into Star Trek who make it, right? Versus like,
You mean if Ronald D. Moore is producing it?
Are you saying you're wondering if it's more Star Trek or porn? Like if it's more like
if they kind of like they're like, wow, they're going way too into the science here, and then the next
listen,
scene,
There's a
like,
lot of technobabble in this.
that's not canon, so we're gonna cut that scene.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Yeah, like it'd just be interesting because most of those, like when they make those movies, they're not really fans of the things they're doing.
I've never seen a pizza box with a hole in the bottom. I'm just saying, they're not realistic. Really,
They're about to. Yeah. So,
Have you ever been caught in the office by your professor?
You know how many times I've never gotten stuck in a washing machine or a dryer
Yeah.
or
Well, it wouldn't be you who gets stuck, though. That's the thing.
why?
Because it's usually the stepsister.
That's homophobic.
I mean, I suppose that's
Or
true.
stuck in an elevator?
Yeah,
Yeah.
People
You
get stuck
always-
in
you
elevators.
you always have to start in the elevator.
Yeah.
Or like the plumber comes over to fix the plumbing.
Oh yeah.
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 Someone's got some leaky pipes.
The pool boy.
Gotta have a pool to call them over, though.
No, you
I
don't.
know.
You just gotta have
Excuse
like,
me, I have that kiddie pool over here.
yeah,
Can you
exactly.
see why it's not working?
Yeah, exactly.
Cannonball.
Ooh. Oh, concussion. Dear diary.
But before we actually like review, I will say I did like these 2 episodes being chosen. Like
Yeah.
after seeing them, I'm like, okay, because there's not really much in the way of spoilers in here.
No, and you get a feel for the characters with each of them
Yeah.
very well. And I think that really helps you. Except for, I would argue,
I think Year of Hell really builds on what Caretaker set.
I think it does, actually. The desperation of her to get him home and everything. Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing. I forgot that was a season 4 episode.
Yeah, it's right after.
Right after they introduced 7.
Yep.
Like 7 episodes after they introduced 7.
Ah.
7 of 9.
They felt like these episodes felt like Pokemon evolutions.
No.
Like it was like one was like the basic,
Yeah.
and then this was like the next
the
evolution
evolved version of the show. Yeah. Well, once we start going in the reviews of it, I got my problems. I got my qualms that I'm going to go on a rant. I've kind of.
Are you really going to go on a rant? Because I'm looking forward to this. If you actually are,
Has Nick ever ranted?
I don't think he has.
I've kind of had this rant before.
He's complained. He's whined.
Yeah, he's
whined.
I've complained and whined.
Yeah.
I've complained and
I don't
whined.
think you've ever ranted though.
I know we've both ranted. I don't
It
think he
takes
has.
a lot to get me to rant. Actually, I don't even know what would make me rant.
The Beatles suck.
Voyager apparently.
No. Yes, actually, yes. Voyager can make me rant because there's so many possibilities in this show, and they freaking.
Here we go.
All right. Okay. So before we get into that, though, there's a couple things. So we told you we're going on our cruise in 8 days, folks, and we know you probably don't really care for us to talk about, like
Our vacation.
Our vacation.
It's a business trip. It's a business
It's a
trip.
business trip.
Yeah. Well, I got news for him. Get bent. It's our show. We're taking a
We're
vacation.
doing it. So we're going.
And 3 people listen anyway.
I
Brody,
Hi, Brody.
and
Samara.
Hi, Samira.
yeah, we got a Nat.
That's true.
Hi, Annette.
Yeah. Hi, Nat.
There's our 3.
Yeah. Oh, Bill listens. Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill. Yeah. Hi, Bill. We know at least 4 listeners. So there's that. We have more Patreons than we have of the listeners we know.
I know.
What's up with that?
I think that's. I have a feeling that's all the listeners.
Oh, darn it.
I got
We
listener
are
feedback on the side when we do listener feedback
Okay.
too.
I have a
forgot.
feeling we are at 100% listener capacity with Patreons.
Yeah.
Amen, brother. So the cruise is coming up, and I'm going to fight with Rob because Rob wants to go on a frickin' zip line when we can go see Mayan ruins.
Zip line into caves over the jungle.
A zip line he has already done once before. Now, here's the
Possibly.
thing.
Possibly.
Why am I angry at him? Because technically I could go on these Mayan ruins by myself.
This is true.
But I don't know if I could actually do an excursion by myself.
Really?
Wait, are the Mayan ruins? That's an excursion?
Yeah.
Oh, why don't we go to things that are ruined? Let's go.
Because we could ruin them more.
Oh, what do you want to? You want to go on a kiddie ride, or you want to see some real shit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just wants.
We can negotiate.
You know the aliens built that, right?
I'm the one that brought it up in the first place, guys.
You don't want to swim with dolphins either.
There's a key word in there that I cannot do.
Swim.
Dolphin. Oh, you've done dolphins.
I've done a lot of dolphins.
Swimming
in my
with
day.
dolphin is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
It'd be better if it was swimming with Dolph Lundgren instead of swimming with dolphins.
Oh, this place looks cool too. I'm not going to get lost in that.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna-
kind of recording
don't-
a show, Nick.
No, let's let the listeners choose our excursion.
Shall we go on a
Instagram
dolphin
poll.
swim?
Yes.
A dolphin swim.
Okay, write this down, Rob.
Chichen Itza.
That's the Mayan ruins.
That's the Mayan ruins.
Chi-Chi's?
Chi-Chi's, a celebration of food.
Is there a restaurant in the ruins?
No.
Okay, good.
No. A zip line.
There's a Starbucks.
A zip line. A lucha libre meet and greet wrestling experience? Mexican wrestling experience? Bro.
Okay, hold on. Experience. Do you get a match?
I don't know, but this one's lucha libre, tacos, and margaritas.
There's only 8 spots left.
I know, right? Okay, so we got those. Did I already mention the dolphin encounter?
Great radio, guys.
Shut up.
This is fine.
This is
There- what's the
crystal caves and underground water, which I know the part that lost you was the water part.
734-494-0980.
VIP
Tell these
dolphin
guys
experience.
you don't want to hear this.
Do you want Mexican salsa experience? No.
No.
There's
Like the salsa or the dance?
Ooh.
either or.
It's just a salsa tasting.
But there's all kinds of and Rob wants to zip line. He's already zip lined before.
But you
I've
can
like
kind-
3 times before.
Yeah.
you can choose these on the fly, right? Like
Yeah.
They say they're more expensive on the ship, don't they?
I don't think these are more expensive on the ship. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Ooh, what's
Pretty
that
sure
one?
they said things are more expensive
Ancient
on the
ruins
ship.
of
Alton Ha.
Yeah. Can you climb on that one?
I don't know if you can climb on that one.
See, that looks more like a jungle gym.
But it looks like they got signs that say no climbing, and look, they got ropes around it.
No, you can't read that. There's no way you can read that.
They can't read it all.
I can't read. Pregnant women should not select this tour. Sign me up. Because there's a lot of
Anything
women who
with
aren't pregnant on that tour.
Anything with fewer women, you're all about, huh?
That's true. A cave tubing, that would be pretty cool. That would be cool.
You do that with the zipline one too.
This is the one you wanted to do, I thought. Jaguar paw zipline.
A cave tubing sounds oddly sexual.
Yeah, buddy.
Cave.
No, it was Tiger Cave, I think it was.
It might be.
I'm not going in a cave with tigers.
Yeah, meow.
No,
Unless they're Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
It's just Miguel Cabrera in retirement, just sitting in the cave.
Can you imagine walking into a cave with tigers and all of them are like sassy tigers like you just did, like meow, meow. And you're supposed to be intimidated by him, but you're like, that tiger's gay. And he just wants to look fabulous.
He does.
He does.
734-494-0980.
Look at your stripes.
Please send your hate mail to Nick.
Have you ever met a gay tiger? Call us, 734-494-0980.
Yeah, he played shortstop.
Playing shortstop.
Hopefully played shortstop.
Javi Baez.
Javi Baez. Why is he gay?
Jesus Christ, guys.
I think he just... Have you never seen him or talk or move or anything?
Not everybody on the show supports the comments that are made on the show. Just everybody, just FYI.
Is this the part where we go, I have gay friends?
No, it's my baseball gaydar.
My baseball gaydar.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's like the radar gun.
Yeah.
You'd like to measure the speeds of the pitch. I have a gaydar gun. I just pointed at players and
It's like
goes
straight, fabulous.
I hate you guys.
Oh, dear.
I hate you guys so much.
So do I. I hate myself.
I don't. I love us. We are fun. We are fun people.
We are fun people.
And if you're going on the ship with us, we are fun people.
Imagine they're drunk.
So we're going to be
Oh my God.
But we're going to be releasing during the course of that week. We're going to record some episode stuff. So you're going to hear from our crews. We're going to have some video as well.
Show meeting.
Yeah.
How is this going to get edited? Because I'm going to tell you right now, not all of it's going to be usable. Not all of it's going to be usable.
I would tell you, pay attention to Patreon that week.
Oh my gosh, Patreon could be
Because the stuff I'm going to put up and you guys don't even know about, it's going to be hilarious.
terrifying.
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. So that cruise is coming up, which is great and exciting. And we're going to be talking about our excursions afterwards and all that. So you don't want to talk about that with us. But with all that said, let's move on to another topic, sirs.
What's going on?
I went to the movies last night.
Yeah,
And?
what'd you see?
A movie.
Okay, all right. We're halfway there. Now let's go. Starring who?
Harrison Ford and Anthony Mackie.
Narrows it down.
To Captain America: Brave New World.
Air Force
Oh,
One.
yeah.
Oh, Air Force One.
Air Force 2.
Air Force Two. Yes, he's the president again. He's the president.
He only served one term and got
So
reelected.
here's the thing, Captain America. I saw, and I'm not going to do any spoilers because it just came out. The reviews are either middling, like really bad. I mean, like ripping it really bad, or like giving it a lot of praise. And I think it's probably somewhere in the middle there. Like if I had to give this a rating, it'd be like a 6.5 out of 10, which to me is solid. And here's why: no goofy Marvel humor was in this movie.
None?
None.
Really?
None.
No moments of levity.
There was like one or two laughs.
Because like Winter Soldier really succeeded in taking a serious tone, but there were parts we kind of giggled.
Yeah. There were a couple like small ones, but for the most part, it took itself seriously.
Good. That's good.
And I really appreciated that.
I didn't think Marvel's capable of that anymore.
I would say my biggest problem with it is it's a film without heart and it wasn't saying anything. Like most of the Marvel movies are like, you think about Age of Ultron. It was about the Sokovia Accords, right? Or it was it was about
setting it up.
It was setting it up where, exactly. Or Civil War was about, the what do they call it? The
Sokovia Accords, weren't they?
Yeah, where they were going to limit superheroes and all
They
that.
had to register.
And they had to register, and there was a great conversation about government overreach and all that stuff. And, This one doesn't really say anything. It's really entertaining. I enjoyed it a lot. Harrison Ford was great, as always. I mean, Harrison Ford can do no wrong. I didn't think Anthony Mackie was actually that great in his role. I didn't think he was a good, I don't know. It felt like he kind of mailed it in. There were some cameos that felt very cheesy and hokey.
They said there's like one important one for the future Marvel.
Yeah, it was cheesy and hokey. Like it was not acted well. It felt very, it felt like a reshoot.
Okay.
And that's what I heard about this movie. There was tons of reshoots on it, and it felt disjointed in that sense. Like it felt like multiple movies in here.
Okay.
I still enjoyed it. Eli, my son, after it was done, he's like, honestly, I really like this. This might be in my top 5 favorite Marvel movies.
Wow.
He really
Ever?
enjoyed it. Yeah. He really enjoyed
Is
it
he
a lot.
okay?
I mean, I guess so. But it's pretty good. I think my biggest problem with Captain America, and this is something that his character battles throughout, like he hasn't taken the superhero soldier serum.
This is going to be a question I have.
The super soldier serum. So how the heck is he taking these punches and these hits? Like the whole reason why Steve Rogers could do it is he was able to bounce back because he had like super healing and all. Like he could heal quicker. He was stronger.
He could take a punch because the serum allowed him to.
Yeah, but
They don't explain any of that.
I'm not really. Yes and no. I mean, like they show him getting the crap beat out of him and all that, and like kind of reminds me of Daredevil in a sense where he's always getting beat up and he's always hurting. And
I started watching that show.
yeah, cool. But I still think it's good. I think it's worth seeing. I don't know if it has to be like an IMAX theater.
I was going to ask you, like, what's the presentation? Like, can you watch it downstairs?
Yeah.
And still appreciate?
Yeah.
Because I always argue that Winter Soldier, the Batman, you need to see on a big
on
screen.
the big screen.
Yeah, I think you can. People give the action a lot of credit. Again, I think my problem with it is I can't believe him as Captain America without having the serum, which is stupid because it's a movie where a guy turns into a giant red Hulk. So, like,
Hey,
I don't know.
that's realistic.
Yeah. So I still enjoyed it. It's good. I think it's worth seeing. But not my favorite, but definitely not my least favorite Marvel movie.
What is your least favorite Marvel movie?
Probably like the Eternals is
Oh,
there.
okay, that's a given.
Yeah.
What are any of the goofy ones that they've started releasing? Any of the goofy ones like
Thor Ragnarok, Thor
Thor
Love and World.
Ragnarok is pretty low. Or no, Ragnarok I liked. Love and Thunder I did not
That's terrible.
like. Love and Thunder
Thunder was garbage.
Ragnarok I actually enjoyed because I thought it mixed like the goofiness with seriousness pretty well.
It's funny because I did enjoy the movie, but I also hated it.
Yeah, I get you. Well, because it dumbs down Thor, right? Like
Yeah.
But actually Thor was a frat boy. That's the whole point of his character.
But he wasn't an idiot.
No, he was just a frat boy.
He was an
Who
idiot
liked to party and drink.
after
Yeah.
Love and, or Ragnarok.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of some of those.
Was there would you say there in that movie there's an equivalent or close to scene of the elevator scene in Winter
No.
Soldier?
No action scene gets remotely close to the Winter Soldier action scenes. They're good. Don't get me wrong. They're good, but I don't think they're up to that level. Okay, so if I'm looking at the last movies, like Quantumania was garbage. Marvel's was actually not terrible, but it's got that cheesy humor. Then you had Black Panther 2. I like this better than Black Panther 2. I liked it better than Thor Love and Thunder. I liked it better than Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I liked it better than Eternals and Shang-Chi and Black Widow. So, I mean, yeah, I would rank it Captain Marvel. Liked it better than. I liked it better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. So this is...
So it's the best recent one.
Yeah.
So like the
I mean, I didn't...
post Infinity War saga, like the
Well, yes and no, because you got Spider-Man No Way Home in there and Spider-Man
the
Far From Home.
Spider-Mans are kind of top tier.
Yeah, they are. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that was, I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was great. I thought Black Panther 2 was good, but it just wasn't my favorite. And then you had Deadpool Wolverine. I don't think that really counts.
I don't count that as MCU yet.
No, it kind of
No?
exists.
Not yet. Not until I see
MCU adjacent.
right because you have to to me you have to establish him in this universe. Right now he's more in the X-Men universe.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so-
Exactly. Yeah.
So you could like top 5 post Infinity War movies.
Yes, for sure. It's definitely in the top 5.
So when you went to the movies, did the theater tell you the exact time the movie was starting?
It said 6 o'clock, and it was 6:20 before it started.
So do you think there needs to be a law
No.
telling us when a movie has to exactly start, the film itself?
No, but I think it should be similar in the sense of where, like, when you go for a restaurant and they show you the calorie count next to the food, I think if it says 6 o'clock, it should be in parentheses saying 6:20 after the previews.
I don't.
No.
There's a senator in Connecticut that thinks it should be a law, and he's proposing the law that movie theaters have to release the exact time the movie starts.
Yeah, the party of limited government.
All right, see, this to me, this is the equivalent of like drafting a punter.
Fair enough.
Like, when do you can just pick up punters here anywhere.
Do we?
This is the stuff. Once you've sort of perfected government, you're like, all right, what's next? Oh,
Yeah.
movie times. Let's perfect movie times.
A law. A law.
It's
for
dumb.
this.
It's dumb.
A law.
It's dumb.
A law. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie didn't start on
We
time.
need a law
I'm
for
writing
this.
my senator.
Jesus Christ. The dumbest shit I've ever heard. Whoever the senator is a fucking idiot.
Hey,
Wow.
language.
You are fired up.
Save
about
this
it.
for
It's
Righty
just-
Tighty Lefty Loosey, episode 3.
Let's write more irrelevant laws. We
The
need
movie
more
episode.
irrelevant laws.
Because that'll solve inflation.
This is the dumbest things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You only got chocolate milk on my face.
Joe's going to lick it off.
Gosh. Sorry. Not chocolate milk, but like protein.
Yeah, you got protein in your face.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's just the powder. Anyways.
It's been a while. That's probably true.
So I recommend, to close that, I recommend Captain America.
Okay.
I thought it was good. And I'm actually looking forward to Thunderbolts, actually. I said actually twice in one sentence there, but
I actually heard you. That movie looks entertaining.
see, it looks like it's got that cheesy Marvel humor in it.
It looks like
does.
100% has that cheesy Marvel humor in it.
And
It looks
But-
like Suicide Squad.
But that's fine. Well, no, I feel
from
like
the trailers.
I feel like
it's fine
Marvel
for
can
these
do it though.
characters.
I feel like they can do it if they don't try to take it seriously. They can't really do both together very successfully I'm speaking mostly post Infinity War. Infinity War saga, like that was perfect.
And it was super serious.
But there were
Infinity War
also moments of humor and levity and
yeah, the taco scene with the Hulk where he's walking around with his tacos and he hands one to Ant-Man. It was a pretty good scene.
but
The
this-
interactions between
Rocket.
Rocket, interactions between Falcon and Winter Soldier were always quippy, but I thought
Yeah.
it fit the characters and their relationship.
Yeah.
Didn't seem forced with those two.
I don't know. The Thunderbolts looks like it could be entertaining.
It looks like it could be. It could be garbage. We'll see.
I mean, if I were to bet, I would bet that it's going to be
I
garbage.
would bet on garbage too, but I'm still going to go. I'll see that one at the theater.
Yeah.
If you're listening in the area, join us.
Because I like Yelena. I like her Florence Pugh's character a lot.
Yeah.
And she is kind of like the cheesy, like the goofy one. Kate Bishop.
How good was Hawkeye?
Hawkeye was good, but
So good.
just her in Hawkeye was incredible, and even in Black Widow, she was a really good character. I liked
her in Black Widow.
Yeah, it's just the movie sucked, but she was good.
Yeah. Well, the movie, I mean, as much as a superhero movie can, it just suspended reality way too much.
You know, and that's the thing. Like, I like the
I
overall
understand it.
plot points of the movie. I didn't like the superhero-ness that they were able to perform that was unrealistic, right?
When she fell 15 stories from a non-super serum,
and landed
and-
in a
and got up.
superhero pose.
Yeah.
had a limp,
Oh yeah, that's right. She did. Yeah.
had a limp for a scene.
Meanwhile, I shoveled my driveway 2 days ago, and I can barely move my left arm.
Amen, my brother. Been there.
And no superhero.
You guys are old.
You're the oldest one in the show.
I know.
You are.
I was the oldest one at football for a few minutes there last Sunday. I was like, holy crap.
And then who came?
Brian.
Ah, yeah.
He was playing with the kids at first.
How old are you?
45 or 6.
78, right?
Yeah, it feels like it some days.
No, 1978.
Yeah.
Yeah.
46.
So you're 46. You're going to be 47 in December.
Oof.
Gosh, you're old.
It's old.
That is old.
That is
Remember when
old.
47 felt super old as a kid, though?
Oh my
No,
God.
it feels super old now.
It is.
As a kid,
isn't.
47, you might as well have been 1,000.
Yeah.
Think about it. When we were kids, would a 47-year-old male or 47-year-old dad have a podcast about Star Trek?
No one had a
No one
podcast
had
when we
a
were kids.
I know,
The
but like
radio
47-year-old, yeah, but they wouldn't have like done stuff like that. They don't embrace their nerddom back then. We embrace it now. We live into it. We don't grow up as quick.
Yeah, but this is a longer conversation. But this nostalgia part of existence didn't exist.
Yeah,
This has been created.
This is a newer
since,
thing. Yeah, exactly.
I wonder what triggered the change.
Consumerism.
Better toys.
Consumerism.
Yeah,
Better toys.
I mean, that's part of consumerism. But
yeah.
The fact that they were able
They
to
could make
monopolize or monetize these like kids shows because they were able to a certain degree before in the 60s and 70s, but not to the consumerist level of the 80s and 90s.
You didn't get your I Love Lucy toys? Come on now. Action
Star
figures?
Wars.
No, but
did
they
it.
had Star Wars toys.
Star Wars did it, man.
And they had G.I. Joe in the
G.I. Joe?
60s. Barbie.
Joe.
So they were able to do stuff. Lincoln Logs with the
Oh yeah, we had those ones.
Lincoln Logs were great.
They looked like turds.
But I mean, you had kids playing like Cowboys and Indians with Lincoln Logs, and you had like Ponderosa, like, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Just
Dukes of Hazzard toys.
yeah.
Lincoln Logs were the greatest, though. You know they were.
Oh, Lincoln Logs were awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were. They were legit, man.
and then Lego came out and says you don't need those anymore.
Yeah, wood, beat it. Actually, the original Legos were wood, I believe.
Were they?
Were
Back
they?
in
I
the
think
day?
so. Like the original.
The original Legos.
Googling it.
Google it.
You guys go on without me.
Well, what are we moving on to?
I don't think I have actually anything else.
I mean, I don't have too much else. We got 4 episodes of Voyager we got to talk
I don't
about.
think we're
yes.
not going to talk too much about Caretaker.
The first Legos were made of wood
Wood Legos. Let me Google them. I want to see
until
if I can.
1959.
Wow.
So wow.
In 1949, Lego produced its first plastic brick.
See, I never even knew it was around back then. I thought it was like a 70s or 80s thing.
I hear you.
Old Kirk Christensen, founder of Lego, started making wooden toys in his workshop in Denmark.
It's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So nobody died this week. No celebrity deaths.
Not yet.
Okay.
I don't think so.
We're not killing anybody. Oh, didn't we get someone divorced?
We did. We got Jessica Alba divorced.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yep.
Look at us.
Yeah, we got her divorced, but that was it. That was it.
Okay, not bad. I mean, that's light work, but still.
Yeah, I mean, there was a star from General Hospital who died, but
Have you ever talked about them?
no.
Is your wife aware?
She's fully aware.
Okay.
As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, I heard about that. Like if Jeannie Francis is on this boat when we go on it, I am required to go meet Jeannie Francis.
Okay. You have to.
I'll keep my eye out, and if we see Johnny Frakes, I'll be like, hey, the wife here, because my wife wants me to worship her.
You just worship her. Like I don't need a picture.
I'm here for Jeannie Francis worship. Is that a? Can you look at the excursions? Is that a?
It's not an excursion.
Can we go to the chapel, please? Because deity.
Amen, brother. All right, are we ready to move on to some Trek?
Do we have feedback from Bill and mine?
Oh, yes. Yes, we did have some feedback. Let's hear.
Open hailing frequencies.
Channel open.
Channel open. So we got some feedback. Bill reached out. He didn't reach out through our text message number, but he reached out personally. And Bill had this to say about our last week's episode. He had a couple things. He said, first of all, let me go back to my text message. I lost it. He said 2 things. Joe should watch Caretaker. That was his suggestion.
Done.
Second, in the IMDb goofs for the episode clues, this is about the one where the wormhole one.
Yeah.
They suggested that the crew may have dismissed the 2 days missing due to them supposedly flying through a wormhole. Sounds weak to me, but I guess it works for headcanon if one is looking for a loophole in that episode. So that's what Bill had to say.
So I got a message from friend of the show, Josh Bozovi, the voice of the narrator for
Yep.
Beyond the Pod. Mm-hmm. And he said he was listening to the episode where we talk about the Hans Zimmer Superman theme versus the John Williams.
He said you were crazy, didn't he?
He said, we need to sit down and talk about your opinion. And then, So he did not support my opinion that the Hans Zimmer version was better.
Yeah.
And he actually required, it's like, we got to sit down and debate this. So
Yeah.
he thought I was crazy.
I think he's right.
I don't know if it's the same Josh, but on our YouTube page for last week's episode, Josh Baker,
Nope, different.
1581, said that Devil's Due and Clues were the 2 episodes that got him into Next Generation.
Really?
That's interesting.
Yeah, those are
So
interesting.
I wonder if he just happened to start watching, or if he saw those episodes and they grabbed him so much
They
that
might have, yeah. I mean,
Or he's like, this girl's a freak. I like it.
I still thought Clues is a very good episode.
So did, yeah, absolutely.
Personally,
It was a fun episode. I thought it was well executed and all that
right,
jazz.
right. Like, I can understand where you come from, but I think it's a great one. Yeah. So also we got Samira reached out to us and told us that when we were talking about swag, she's like, I love little purses or handbags, like for you to put your logo on. My friend seems partial to those things you put on your beer to keep them cool. So a koozie.
Yeah.
I like glasses cases. If you're on a cruise, I'm sure people got sunglasses. And
I
it's a
did
Star
look
Trek
at
cruise.
that real briefly.
It's full
For
of
what?
nerds who wear glasses.
Sunglasses case. Case.
to do what?
To bring on the cruise and hand out. But production time was not.
Oh yeah.
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 By the time she suggested, the time I looked it up, it wasn't going to execute.
Yeah. And they're kind of more expensive, right?
I could have got limited quantity, which would have been cool.
I have my Keeping Up with the Cardassians branded sunglass cases.
I know.
Oh, I guess you could get them for 47 cents per each one.
Oh, like a zip. That's like a zip bag, right? Like a.
Yeah, like the small bag that you can put them in, and you can put the logo on it.
We can't do it now. We're a week out, less than a week out.
Too late. Well, they have 5-day production,
That's production.
That's production.
You got shipping. and-
Shipping.
1 day production, 86 cents per item. So that's too.
Is it limited quantity? Dang it.
You have
It
to
is.
get,
It is limited quality.
you
I
have
will
to
tell
get
you.
250 minimum.
So no.
So no,
The answer would be no.
that's a no.
So you're talking like that's like $200,
That's $260.
including shipping.
I don't even
Not
think that
including
includes shipping.
Well, it doesn't make sense. 250 times 86. It should
Setup
be.
fee.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Isn't that what? Build it into the price, please.
Build
Yeah,
it-
100%.
build it in,
Just build it
build
into
it
the
in.
Tell
damn
me-
price.
Just
Like,
build it into the price. If it makes it $1.19 a piece, just tell me I'm paying $1.19
like
a
ticket
piece.
prices. Why the hell am I getting fees? Just rope it into the damn ticket price.
Yeah, I agree. I
Also,
agree.
Brody shamed me for having like 100 and something text messages and 500 browsers
That's
That's
on
a good
YouTube?
call, Brody.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
So he said he had 0 unread text messages and only 4 browser tabs. Well, that's because you guys all clear your browser. You
Those are browser tabs, not the browser itself.
clear the tabs, history. I just leave it all there. It's all there.
How many you got open right now?
It's 500 is the max. I'm at max capacity.
Brody, I appreciate how you liked Argyle as well too. He said he liked
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, good man. Good man.
I heard that when I listened to their podcast, and then I was like, all right, Brody, I see you.
We're okay. We're good. We're good. All right. That's viewer feedback for the day. So now we're moving on. We're moving on to Star Trek Voyager. So real quick, the first thing I want to do when we start our Voyager thing is I want hold on. I'm delaying slightly.
Are you having a stroke?
No, I'm delaying slightly because I need to skip through YouTube for something. Here we go.
Oh.
So I want to start with this. So, what are your thoughts on the Star Trek Voyager opening theme?
Initially, I thought it was way too close to DS9.
You thought it was too close to DS9.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that because, like, when you think of Voyager or Next Generation and Enterprise, they're like high, like,
Well,
kinda
okay.
uppity.
Enterprise is not uppity.
I don't know Enterprise. But what I've seen is Next Generation and DS9 and now Voyager.
Yep.
DS9 is
And the original series.
and the original series.
Well, some of it. Like what, one or two episodes?
Yeah, a few episodes.
I was thinking about the
But you know the
original-
song.
Yeah.
I was talking about the original series, not Enterprise. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is like a grand. This is not like a song; it's a feeling. It's more organic.
Yeah.
Where Next Generation, to me that's a theme song. It seems like a song. Dun, 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 dun. It's a melodic. It's a song.
Well,
Yeah.
with DS9 and Voyager, they definitely lost some energy.
Well, I want to say, when I say that it's close to DS9, I don't mean that negatively.
Yeah.
Because I prefer what DS9 did with their theme song versus Next Generation.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just do. I mean, it's less iconic, clearly,
yeah.
but it sets up what you're watching better.
Okay.
I wouldn't say better. It's just I prefer it because I think Next Generation, that little it's a song, and songs are like easily digestible individual pieces of music.
Yeah.
Whereas this is it's composed. I don't know. It just feels different, and I think each one fits what each show brings to the table.
How about the visuals in Voyager?
In the theme?
Yeah. I kind of like the visuals, like
All
when it's
right.
cutting through the cloud and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the visuals. I actually like the song a lot too.
I think it's a good theme song.
Yeah,
I'd put it up there as one of the better.
I would
theme
like
songs.
a theme song.
I would say it's two of three so far,
Okay. All right.
with Next Generation being the third.
Really?
DS9
People
Voyager.
love the next gen theme.
It's iconic. I get
It's
it. Like
iconic, that's why.
Yeah,
And it's not just next gen. It was from the original series too.
No.
The original movies.
there you go.
But I mean,
That's
that's
what I
what
meant,
I'm
the
saying.
original
It's like
series.
it is iconic, and it is high energy. It's fun. I get it,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think you and I had a small text exchange this week about our some of our critiques of the shortcomings of Next Generation,
Yeah, we did.
and it's just I don't know. I really hope it starts getting better because it's not. I don't find it to be. I'm enjoying this break from it, and I'm taking it as some time to reflect on what we've seen so far. It's just not the kind of Star Trek I want to watch. But I know that it's supposed to be getting better, and it has gotten better in the last couple seasons, for sure.
Undeniably.
But tying it into Caretaker, watching this reminded me that, yeah, I don't really like Next Generation all that much.
Yeah. I will say, and I said this to Rob a while ago, I started rewatching Voyager, and I'm like, this isn't what I remember it be. I remember this being like not liked very much, but I find this pretty good. Like overall, the characters were good, the setting was good. And I dare say, like, even Caretaker is the pilot, I enjoyed much more than a lot of Next Gen that we've watched so far.
I thought it had a great pilot.
I think the technobabble is definitely starting to come through, and it definitely becomes a big part of Voyager as well. And you can see that in Year of Hell, that becomes a thing. But here, let me just quickly go through the summary of Caretaker, in case you viewers haven't seen it in a while or paid attention to it. Mm-hmm. So Caretaker picks up where the Voyager has been tasked with catching some Maquis. They went into the Badlands and they disappeared. So they've been tasked with going to get them. And in order to get them, Janeway goes and picks up Paris, who is in a federal or a Starfleet prison because he was a member of the Maquis. And on their way there, they get sucked into this machine that takes them 70,000.
What's the machine's number? Asking for a friend.
They get sucked 70,000 light years from home, and it turns out there's this array thing, and there's this caretaker guy there, and he's been caring for this alien creature, the Ocampans, for as long as he can remember, for generations, against the Kazon, and he's starting to die, and he needs someone to take over, so he's sucking all these alien species over to find someone to take over, and he sucks them off to the Delta Quadrant.
I need to see how long has our podcast been? Write down 39 minutes.
39 minutes.
You're going to need that, Rob.
So they go off to the Delta Quadrant, and this caretaker guy is trying to find someone to take over. And by the end of the episode, they convince him that you can just die, bro. You don't need to worry about it. The Ocampans can take care of themselves. So he dies, but the Kazon want this machine because it's super powerful. It allows them to get into the Ocampans' territory and steal their water and everything because they don't have water. So Voyager, Captain Janeway decides, you know what? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So she blows up the Caretaker array, stranding them in the Delta Quadrant. Meanwhile, the Maquis crew that they were chasing, she integrates into her crew because half of her crew was killed when they warped over. So all of a sudden, Chakotay is her first officer, and B'Elanna Torres is on there, and she's a Cleon, and then you got all these characters, and then the doctor died, so now you have the EMH, the emergency medical hologram, is now their doctor. So that is Caretaker, essentially. It establishes the universe. It establishes why they've been stranded. There you go. That's where we're at.
Bam.
Bam.
It was good. All right. What's the next one? Year of Hell?
Year of Hell is the next one. Yeah.
No, I liked it.
I like the Quark scene was a lot of fun too, wasn't it?
It's good to see Quark.
I love DS9.
Yeah.
And I love the tie-in. I loved it. Was just a great scene. And that's where I wanted to start. Voyager feels different than Next Generation.
It does feel
immediately different.
Yeah, it does.
It feels more grounded in reality. It feels grittier. It feels more authentic. It doesn't feel,
because there's character conflict.
Yes, there is conflict. There
between
is
Chakotay and Paris, and and the whole crew hates Paris because he was a Maquis.
But did they have to make the Doctor, the first Doctor, and the first commander douchebags right off the bat? Shouldn't they make him sympathetic when killed him? You cared that they died?
Would Cisco have been kind to those people?
Depends on who was. Was it Eddington?
Would Cisco have been kind to the Maquis people if they're on the crew?
Hold on. Eddington, no. But his wife, if you remember, was helping the Maquis.
She was helping them. She wasn't a Maquis.
She was helping them.
She wasn't a Maquis.
Same thing in the long run.
She was never in the Federation. She never betrayed her oath to the Federation. Why did Cisco hate?
He's got
You betrayed your oath.
You betrayed your oath. Yes,
those are both terrible impressions of.
I also your oath.
Felix?
German exchange student here.
That's an in joke. That's an in joke.
That is.
Yes.
And if you weren't on our Patreon, you did not get only the Patreons got the full story.
Yeah, those are the only people who get the full story because that's not fair too.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, but
Go ahead.
I was going to say Cisco would have been the same way. He would have. Well, okay. Cisco was the commanding officer, was still doing that. Janeway was never like that to him.
True.
Janeway was cool with him.
Yep.
Yeah. Janeway was like, whatever, bro. I need you. Let's do this.
She was very kind to him when they introduced.
She was super kind to him. Yeah, exactly. So I can get it. I can get the conflict.
But these humans are more evolved. Cisco. It's okay. He's Cisco.
It's okay. Cisco gets a pass, man.
Yeah, he gets a pass.
It's Cisco. He's one of the best
He
captains.
tried to kill a whole planet or made it unlivable.
Yeah. All right. So you got an introduction of Janeway.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of her as a captain so far?
So far, I love her.
Yeah.
So far, I'll give her a A.
Okay.
And
she's got personality, right?
She does have personality
compared to Picard.
I hate that this is really going to come off as me shitting all over
Which
TNG.
Is hilarious because it's usually the other way in this Trek universe.
You're right.
Yeah. Trek universe doesn't. Well, Voyager has been romanticized now. It's loved.
But
now.
this is the pilot episode of this, and she already seems very warm and welcoming to the viewer.
Yeah.
She seems very much in command.
Yeah, she's still a bad. She still is like.
But she's not rigid.
But she's not. Yeah, she's like, I am in charge. Don't call me sir. He's like, okay, ma'am. He's like, no, I prefer captain.
Yeah. Only in what would she say in?
Yeah, what did she say? In a pinch or something.
They'll do in a pinch. Yeah,
in a pinch or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was like, but she didn't say it in a shitty way.
No, she wasn't. She was kind of supporting him.
And then like the scene later, he said, "Ma'am," and she's like, "We're not in a pinch right now.
It's okay. Yeah, we're not in a pinch." But that was a fun little.
So she has a sense of humor, but she's clearly devoted to. That's the thing that I get out of Caretaker and Year of Hell, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But she's clearly devoted to the ship and her crew.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's devoted.
She's a very good captain.
Where I think Picard is devoted to his crew, but in a different way.
He's
devoted to the Federation over everything.
Yes.
Yes.
It is Federation over everything, and the Federation falls under the umbrella, or the crew falls under the umbrella of the Federation.
Yes.
Whereas
he's got the Federation ideals to uphold.
Whereas
and that's what
Janeway
he's
sees
doing.
everybody,
But
she sees the crew as family. Like that's
it's a really interesting dynamic because you're not wrong at all about Picard, but this is part of the growth arc that they've carried on all the way through the most recent series that they did with Picard in season 3 of Star Trek Picard. They carried that in that he was always too detached, and he's realizing that through his life.
And I don't think it's necessarily fair for me to compare Picard after almost four seasons of
Janeway after 4
writing,
episodes. Yeah.
right? Or put Janeway in the very first episode.
Yeah.
But I mean, Picard in the first season, or in the first season, the first episode, like he's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, he's just very rigid, very cold.
I don't really know what they were doing for Star Trek the next generation season 1.
And that's
No. Or
and
2,
that's,
yeah.
That's the thing I think it is in TNG's
TNG?
Celebration of Star Trek?
No, I think that's what TNG kind of they get a little bit of a pass is because that was the first one back out of the gate, so they had nothing to draw from before. What
And
with Voyager, they had 3 series before, and they could say, okay, what worked, what didn't work, what did the audience, and 2 series that were modern.
7 movies.
So they had a lot of, a lot of viewer feedback that they can say, okay, this worked, this didn't. How can we make these characters a little more engaging and not so rigid out of the gate?
Right.
And I thought they did that. Although I didn't like the Doctor.
The MH.
Yeah. They always have to have a hologram or a robot or a
They call it the Spock character.
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
He grows on you a lot.
He was just
He becomes probably, I think, one of the best characters in the show.
he
he's
felt
a
to me
prick.
like Dollar Store Data.
Yeah.
Just right out of the gate. And I was like, all right.
The Wish data.
Yeah, make a
I mean, he has emotions though. He's a prick.
yeah. What's the Timu Data?
Timu, yeah.
Timu Data. Yeah, he's a prick.
Um
Then you have
This isn't what I ordered at all.
you have Ensign Kim, which congratulations, you've seen his entire story arc.
Yep. That's it.
One of the biggest complaints about Voyager,
which is sad because I liked him.
I know that's one of the biggest complaints about Voyager is some of their characters don't grow, they stagnate, and he's one that stagnates for sure.
Oh, yeah.
They decided like he wasn't going to be a focus, like
It's
somewhere.
racist.
They tried to get him off the show at one point, but his status as Sexiest Man Alive nominee or something like that is kept him on the show.
Yeah, like he was up for Sexiest Man, which I don't know about.
They have
that.
nominees like it's like the Grammys.
I guess so. I don't know.
Well, everybody knows that Timothy Chalamet got it over Henry Cavill, so yeah, there's got to be nominees.
I just thought like if you were alive, you were nominated, and just like a tiered ranking.
I did not receive my email.
I think it's your birth certificate.
Oh, okay.
So you had him. You had Tom Paris. Do you like Tom Paris?
No, Tom Paris is a dick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
But you know what? He comes through in the end. She gets,
Yeah,
she
he's.
makes
I
a
mean,
loot
he's
on it.
fine. I don't know. He comes off as arrogant, but whatever.
I don't think so. He explains the story to the ensign, like where he's like, "I could have lied about it. I would have got away with it, but no, I told the truth." And look at that, you know.
I know, but
To kid.
there's an element of arrogance there. Like, oh, I could have lied. I could have done whatever I wanted. I could have got if I wanted to. I could have gotten away with it, but I didn't.
Well, I think he's not saying it like that. He's saying it like, "Why didn't I? I was stupid. I should have done that." Like, so to me, it's not arrogance. It's like self-preservation. More like,
Yeah.
you're all hating on me, but you wouldn't have known about this.
Or
if
self-realization too.
Yeah. And his daddy is an admiral. Admiral Daddy.
Oh my god.
You got Tuvok.
We got that to look forward to.
You got Tuvok, the Vulcan security
Tuvok
officer.
Shakur.
Yeah,
Tuvok is.
I like Tuvok
There's
Shakur.
not really much to him in this one, but here
No.
in Hell, there's a little bit to him in that one.
Yeah, I mean, how much can you really develop the characters in a 2-part episode?
Right.
It's more essentially establishing them.
Yep.
And I can see. I mean, it sets the premise. I thought it set the premise very well for what I know the show to be,
Yep.
or what has been explained to me.
Yep.
The characters seem interesting enough. I mean, me not liking a character, it's not. I didn't think anybody was boring. I'll say that.
Even
Okay.
Neelix?
All right. I thought Neelix was boring, and he was the only one. No.
Neelix is like the comic relief of the show.
Yeah,
though.
I didn't think he was boring, but whatever. I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to their.
He's basically a trash panda who lives on their ship.
They can Cali him, and I'd be happy
He's
about
a
it.
raccoon. And then they got Kess too, right? Kess is on there, which Kess ends up leaving the show because the actress had a mental health breakdown, and now is not doing well. I think she
Apparently didn't get her mental health addressed.
did. Is she dead? She might.
Did you just kill her?
He's about to.
No, she's not doing well. Let's see if
Is she alive?
So that's her then. Oh, there you go. Yeah, she did not do well. She has mental health issues, drug issues.
That is, in a word, unfortunate.
Yeah, she was pretty back in the day. She was gorgeous.
Let's see. It's hard. It's hard. I think what I said to you. Oh, I said earlier. It was earlier in the show. I do think like this was set. This and Year of Hell were two good, very good back-to-back episodes to watch to kind of get a feel for it. Yeah. Because they both like Janeway is going to. I don't know. She'll go to any lengths for her crew.
If you unplug my PC down under the desk, you could use that USB-C.
Okay,
That's fine. You guys just made me watch Star Trek. It's fine. You don't have to listen to me.
He needs a charge. Sorry.
I'm listening to you.
No,
my
it's fine.
laptop's about to
Don't
die.
listen to me. It's fine.
I was
Oh
listening.
God, the laptop's about to die. Then what would he do while I'm talking?
I would
That's
manage.
He would
True.
be forced to listen.
That's true.
You know what? I've been really good today. I've been listening the whole time.
That's
sir.
fine.
Except for then.
Yeah, except for when my computer.
Are we
was
good? Do we have
down.
power?
Battery is not charging, but it's using the power adapter as a source. So there we go. We're good. So the battery's not dying. It's just not charging.
Must be that Apple crap.
It must be.
Crapple.
So continue.
No, I think it's established that she is completely devoted to the crew, and later in Year of Hell, she's completely devoted to Voyager.
Yep.
I like that she. I just like the way that she commands.
Yeah. I think she,
Right out of the gate, she was.
I think she is a pretty badass captain, actually. She is one of my favorite captains because she is really good at her job, right? She's not, like you said, she's very strong as a captain. She commands authority, but at the same time, she's still approachable, whereas Picard was not that. He commanded authority, but he was someone you didn't want to.
I think that was important.
Yeah.
Jerry Taylor helped develop the show, and I think that was important for her to put that into Janeway.
Yeah. Well,
That was the name I saw in the credits, and I didn't really know who that was.
She is just getting involved in Star Trek: The Next Generation right now,
yeah. And
Where
she-
we are.
where
Yeah.
we are. So
Okay.
when she left Next Generation, Voyager was what she went to after the Next
She
Generation.
passed,
Okay.
she passed away like 2 months ago now.
Yeah.
Yep, she just passed away.
So
That's
they
when we were
Rest
interviewing
in
with
peace.
Nana. She was talking about Jerry.
A lot of the
Rest in
production,
She
power.
hadn't realized she had passed away at that point.
like when DS9
It
came
was
out,
that day that we interviewed.
It was
Yeah.
that day, yes.
like when a lot of when DS9 came out, a lot of the production staff for Next Generation went that way, and then when it ended, a lot of the production staff went to Voyager.
So
Visually, okay. So, I mean, it's like the plot was good. Established the universe very well. Established the characters, the show, like the show. Just remind me: is this more the DS9 style storytelling or TNG?
Well, I'll
this
give
is
you a
gonna be
comment.
more-
I'll give you a comment that it was made about Year of Hell, and this will help you out. So originally,
Well, because I have thoughts about Year of Hell.
Year of Hell, originally they wanted to make that an entire season.
Yes, I read this, and
but-
because my initial critique was, this isn't. It's 2 parts. It's not long enough.
Yeah, Rick Berman said he didn't want to serialize the show.
That's we'll get to that at Year of Hell because
Yeah.
I think that's worth a discussion because
Well, and this is the big complaint against Voyager is they course corrected from DS9. They went from that
serialized.
serialized
Because Ira Burr
storytelling,
had to fight for that.
and then for even the Year of Hell.
No, for
Or
just
for
DS9.
Yeah.
It works so well.
And this was a course correction. This was designed to go back. You could miss a week and hop in. And I think actually Voyager, for the most part, balances it fairly well, even though it
late
goes
in
back.
late in the show, I think it goes less like strict serialized and more kind of loose with it.
Yeah.
I think. I don't remember Voyager. Like
So
watching Caretaker and Year of Hell, I don't remember it all that well.
There are story arcs that absolutely carry over. They do a lot of two-parters in Voyager because they want to tell bigger stories. They don't do a lot of quick solves of mysteries in Voyager. I will give them that. Like
I do like that.
TNG does that a lot, right?
Yes.
Where at the end of the episode, 5 minutes left, and they're like, "Oh no, how are we going to fix this?
Well,
we
it's a-
fixed it." And the
Wesley,
episode-
Wesley,
where are you at? Get over here.
Wesley.
But saying on the ship no more, how are they going to solve their issues?
I know. It's,
Right.
it's all downhill from here.
It's all data from now on.
So, and once we start talking about Year of Hell, I'll kind of go into this. But my biggest issue with Voyager is the potential that it had based off of this pilot, and it, for the most part, it doesn't really go very far with that potential.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it really doesn't. They set up some really good potential right away in this pilot.
Yes.
The conflict between the Maquis crew and the Starfleet crew, Tom Paris trying to figure out who he is, an ensign who has no clue what's going on,
A person with a 7-year lifespan.
a person with a 7-year lifespan, a trash panda living with them on the ship. I mean, there's some really good things. And actually, this first season, I think the first season is really solid because of that.
I don't remember.
They focus on these issues in the first season, but at some point they decide to shift away from that and be like, we're a happy-go-lucky crew, and everything's fine.
See, that's what I liked about this is it seemed more like DS9 than it did TNG in
A little
that
more volatile in a way.
Yeah, but they didn't seem like happy go. I don't know that the sets were darker, like the bridge wasn't as bright. It was
The bridge was bright. It was just I think the material on the bridge was darker, which helped it give it that feel.
It felt grittier. It felt
Feels more like a DS9
Well-
bridge. It feels more like
Because it looked like more like a ship's bridge as opposed to the living room of the Next Generation.
yes.
I don't know. It just I don't know. I think maybe part of it is I'm kind of sour on TNG right now, and I don't know.
I get you.
I don't know if that played into it. It was just like a palate refresher, and I was just like, oh my god, this is more like what I want to watch.
Yeah.
But Year of Hell was like it just took my feelings and thoughts on Caretaker and just like amped them up.
Well, and we're going to get into that very shortly because I think the reason why I wanted to do Year of Hell is because I wanted to show you this is what the potential, this is what they started to, and this is what they said the potential was. This is what it could have been. Because Year of Hell is what the whole series could have been in some shape or form. Maybe not that dark the entire series, right? Where
They
they're
couldn't have
always
done it, yeah.
getting their butt kicked, but still having to be scrappy, kind of like BSG, right?
That was a point I had.
Well,
So we'll get into that. But before we get into that, a couple other things. What did you think about the ship itself? Do you like the ship itself? The look of the ship?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sleek. It's tiny too. It's a crew of 150.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it was docked at DS9. Right?
Yeah,
It was fine. It was
a baby ship.
141, wasn't it? And they say it holds one.
141, the crew. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tiny crew. Where to put that into perspective, Enterprise D had 2,000 people
1,100, I think.
for crew,
Oh, for crew, yeah.
but like 2,000 overall.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1,100 crew versus 100.
It looks nice. It looks, I don't know. It looks sleek.
It is. And they got those nacelles that pop up and down, which that's a story that kind of comes into play in Next Generation at some point, why they've created that. So you'll hear that later on. Yeah, I like the ship.
I would go through a Year of Hell for that ship.
I like the design. I like the design of it too. I like the coloring. I like the hull. It felt more like a military vessel than Enterprise D did, which of course it was the intent.
Of
right?
course.
Yeah.
Enterprise D.
I view Enterprise D as a long mission reconnaissance, kind of like exploration.
they're ambassadors.
Yeah, it's
right?
long-term-
They're diplomatic.
Long-term missions.
Yeah.
Where the Voyager is a science ship.
Yes.
It's designed to.
Yeah, they're
Go
all
out.
exploration, but this, like the Enterprise, always viewed this as it's supposed to be out there for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else from the pilot before we move on to Year of Hell? I'm trying to think of anything else that really stands out.
And when we start this show, we'll get more into the pilot whenever that is.
Who's the character you're most interested in seeing more of?
Janeway.
Janeway.
It might be maybe it's cliche or whatever. It's basic, but I thought the character was great out of the gate, and I'm like, I want to see more of her in charge. I want to see more of her decision making. I want to see more her resolving conflict. I want to see more of it.
Well, and I will say the thing I think the Voyager has going for it, they did establish her right away. This is who Janeway is. She doesn't grow into something like you get to see other layers to her character.
Yeah.
But they figured her out right away. They knew what they wanted out of this character, and they nailed it in the pilot. I feel like they did. Other characters, they kind of didn't.
Even Cisco grew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to change him a little bit.
Picard has changed
Absolutely,
quite a bit over the course of just
and
3
that's the
seasons.
example I would give.
Yeah.
Cisco, they kind of had a rough idea. He was always rough around the edges. I mean, he's the guy who berated Captain Picard when he was when Picard was his superior. So
Yeah.
like that tells you something about Cisco.
He didn't really berate him. He was like, yeah, I was at Wolf 359.
Yeah, I was there, bitch. What
My
else?
wife is dead, bitch.
Yeah. What else?
What character do you least care for?
The Doctor. Or
The
Tom,
Doctor?
Doctor or Tom Paris.
The Doctor or Tom Paris? Okay, cool. All right, Year of Hell.
Let's do Year of Hell.
All right, Year of Hell. Red Foreman is pissed at his
Dumbass.
son. He's pissed at his son. He's pissed at him because he was killed in a drug bust, and they had to put him in a robotic body. So he's rebelling against him and changing time. RoboCop, sir. No. Okay. Year of Hell. Basically, there's this guy who's traveling around in a ship. His name is Anorax, and the ship is a weapon because it basically changes times. He can wipe things from the existence of time. And when he does that, it changes everything around them. Voyager is flying home, and as they're flying home, they fly through the space of the Krenim, and the Krenim are just little, like, they have like little pea shooter guns, and they're not really scary and whatever. Another alien species shows up, and they're like, yeah, these guys used to be powerful, but they got destroyed. They relied on weapons that use time to fight, but they're dead now. Well, the Anorax guy decides to blow up the homeworld of these people. When he does that, it changes all of the time, and it makes the Krenim extremely powerful now. They are the most powerful species probably in the Delta Quadrant at this point in time. And they're pissed at the Voyager, and they're blowing it up. They're attacking it, and they're basically chasing it all the time. And Voyager is trying to communicate with them, but they're an antagonistic alien species. They don't care. They just want them to die.
Don't want them in their space.
They don't want them in their space. So they're attacking them the whole episode. Meanwhile, Anorax is continuously causing temporal incursion because he's trying to bring his species back to the peak of what they were. More specifically, he's trying to restore a colony where his wife lived. And he's so obsessed with it. They've been going 200 years. And time doesn't matter on that ship because as long as you're on the ship, time doesn't matter. The episode, the first part ends with the Chakotay and Paris being abducted by the time ship, and the time ship trying to wipe Voyager from history, but Voyager actually has faster warp speed. The problem is once they go to warp, it basically sucks off half of the hull of the ship. It's kind of like Battlestar Galactica where
104.
Did I say something? Oh, no.
Just go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Commercials.
It basically is like Battlestar Galactica where it breaks its back. So they have to hide in a nebula, and the whole crew is abandoned ship minus 7 people. Basically, Voyager screwed. There's nothing to be left with it. Meanwhile, Anorax has convinced Chakotay to work with him to help change time, and Chakotay's bought into it. But Paris is like, nah, bro, this guy's seedy. And later on, Chakotay finally comes around. He's like, you're right. So they convince the whole crew to basically mutiny against this guy. Meanwhile, they take Voyager Voyager has created some allies, and they attack this temporal ship because their goal is if they destroy this temporal ship, it'll reset time. Janeway is the only one left on the ship. She's getting her butt kicked, and she crashes the ship directly into the temporal ship as they beam Chakotay and Paris off. And when she does that, it basically resets time. So it's like that spaceship never existed anymore. Voyager basically resets, and they're like, oh, we got to go careful around their, I know that you don't like resets. They have to go around their territory. And then the guy Anorex is seen with his wife, who he spent 200 years trying to get with her. Little did he know if he just blew up his own ship, he could be with her again. So episode ends with everyone living happily ever after. I know that part.
I want to get it out of the way.
I knew you wouldn't like that.
I just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't like that part.
I didn't like it.
You don't like.
Hated it.
You don't like reset buttons. I get it.
I don't. But I will say that everything that led up to it was so good that it didn't piss me off as much as it normally does.
Yeah. Well, and it was kind of leading there, right? Like at what point, like your ship is basically destroyed. Your captain is almost dead. Like there was only one natural conclusion to that episode. And I even think they realized it at that point. Now, when she's crashing the ship into them, do you think she's realizing this will reset time?
No. I think
They just think it's like,
I think it was a Hail Mary.
We're just trying to save, we're just trying to stop them.
Or did they say it? If you hit if this ship.
Oh, that's right. Turn off your shields because if this works, then time will reset. That's right. She told all the ships to take their shields offline.
Take the shields offline. So she did have a hypothesis.
And she talked about that, the butterfly effect later, like with the causation effect with 7 of 9 at one point.
So my question about this 2-episode story versus an entire season episode of it, if they did the entire season, I haven't read, or maybe you guys have, would they have hit the reset button after an entire season of it?
I think they probably would have done it differently. I don't imagine them hitting the entire reset button, but I do imagine them making it so the ship was maybe.
I mean, if you have,
I don't know.
If you have an entire season to write out the ending, you don't. You can. I'm sure that they could probably come up with something that was a little different. It doesn't completely wipe everything that happened for an entire season off the map.
Like the shields were up still.
Here's what I could see happening.
But you could rewrite the season. So let's say you write this Year of Hell, and it is the season of hell, right? You write it as the season of hell.
Yeah.
You could change the ending based on what you're getting, the feedback you're getting from the audience. If it's not working, reset everything.
Well,
back then they
didn't get like immediate feedback like they do now.
Right, they didn't have the intranets.
Well, they had it. It was just
it wasn't
baby.
the same. Yeah,
I would imagine that they're still getting
viewer feedback, fan feedback, Nielsen ratings.
That's what I'm saying. Ratings. If the ratings are not there, if you're reading stuff in like Entertainment Weekly or you're reading stuff in these periodicals, I can see them having that dictate maybe the direction you go at the end.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, you can just reset.
Yeah.
If it does, maybe you write something that's a little more long-term in it.
See, I would have just envisioned myself watching it back then and watching the entire season of this whole journey of an entire season. And then if they would hit the reset button at the end, how livid I would have been.
If you didn't like the season, you'd be like, oh, thank God.
But I think there's a way you could have done it. Hit the reset button without hitting the reset button. So, for instance, at the end of the season, they destroy the ship, which restores the other empire to glory, and they were already friendly with that other empire.
But Voyager's shields were up partially.
So they stop at that empire for 6 months in dry dock, and they fix their ship up enough. So it can leave looking pretty much like nothing ever happened again, but they still went through all that year of hell. So I think you could have done a combination of both.
So you know what's interesting about this episode too? Remember when Ron Moore came on the show, which was before this, I believe, and he really wanted to try to push serialization and really wanted to show the ship have
Voyager.
wear and tear.
Yeah.
This was after that, and then apparently it was Brandon Braga who was really pushing that. So it seems kind of odd.
Yeah,
it seems like there's a lot of revisionist history there, type of thing. It just seemed odd.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just feel like again, my biggest complaint against Voyager was that the ship looks the same when by the end of the series as it did at the beginning of the series. There should be wear and tear.
Absolutely.
There should have been modifications. There should have been all this stuff done to it, like the Battlestar Galactica, right? Which by the end of it breaks its back, and it
looks like dog shit at the end.
It's just completely trashed.
There should have been dirt from space on it or something.
Yeah. But like even the story of like
I'd probably take it to like a car wash.
how they were having to abandon decks of the ship in
car wash
Battlestar
up in
Galactica.
space?
There is. But they were doing that in Year of Hell, right? Like certain decks collapsed and they couldn't stay in there anymore. Like the scene of the deck 5 imploding was pretty cool. Like to watch part of the ship fall off. Or the scene where they go to warp and the hull's flying off the ship.
The visuals were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention this during Caretaker. This was the first series which used computer-generated imagery for the ships. So Voyager was not a model anymore. It was CGI. This was the first
DS9 was models?
The DS9 was models.
Models and CGI.
At the end. It was models up until like the last 2 seasons, and then battle, what was it? Chintaka?
Yeah, the battle of Chintaka over.
It was the first time they used digital included with the
digital
models.
Assets, yep.
When you saw Voyager the Defiant actually zooming around,
that was.
I guess it's more digital than anything.
That was badass.
It was. So seeing like that ship get weathered and destroyed, or like something as simple as their shields are down and there's like micro dust particles causing damage to the ship. Like that was kind of a cool scene. Like, and you can hear it hitting the hull.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty cool, and how it's doing like. So just to have storylines like that happening throughout the entirety of the series would have made a huge difference in terms of fan investment, because you knew like take Battlestar Galactica, the ship was always in danger. Someone could always die, even though you knew the main cast really wasn't going to die, even though sometimes they did kill major characters on the show. Mm-hmm. They were always in danger. There was never a point in Voyager where I felt like the crew was in danger, like overall, minus Year of Hell. So
I
mean, you like, and later on, if you watch it, you might come around and see the same thing. And
it's funny because Caretaker, I really was like kind of judging it against TNG.
Yeah.
Year of Hell, I was matching it up against Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
It felt very BSG to me.
The tone felt like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
And
that's why I wanted to watch BSG, because I'm like, Year of Hell was one of my favorite Voyager arcs altogether.
And I didn't know that they had considered writing this as a season, as an entire season until after.
Yeah.
But when I was watching it, I was like, I could watch way more of this.
Yeah.
Well, like this is the kind of Star Trek that I like.
Even the middle chunk of the season could have worked.
Yeah, like 7 episodes. Like
can you imagine the winter break and on a cliffhanger? First week of December,
with them abandoning ship.
Yeah, and then
the ship going, the ship colliding, and then that's the end of that's the end.
Oh, that's the break for the season.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the Voyager blowing up. Oh, what are you gonna do? Yeah,
it could have worked really well if they wanted to expand. It didn't, like you said, it didn't have to be a whole season. It could have been, but
it could have been like DS9 had that 6-story arc.
Yeah,
it could have been.
Why not that? But I think like if in the middle of the season, that last episode they air back then, that first week of December, and then it comes back like the third week of January. Come on, that would have been awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gosh. That would have been really cool. I would have loved that.
I just loved Janeway's devotion. Like going like
utter devotion to her ship, to her crew.
Her crew, to her ship.
Well, like Chakotay coming into her office, been like, we should abandon ship, and her speech to him, like, no, we are stronger together. And she's right? And then him going, thank God you feel the same way. So that was kind of a cool interaction.
Well, a lot of her devotion to the ship itself reminded me of Kirk, too. Because Kirk loved the Enterprise.
Yeah, in the movies.
And when in Star Trek 3, when that ship goes up, you feel it's a loss, it's a death of a character.
Yeah. Well, and they romanticize Voyager a lot in this whole series, right? They do think of it like a character for the most part, she's in love with that ship.
I think that's a trope in Star Trek in general. I mean, the Enterprise is a character.
The Defiant
was a character when it was introduced. I mean, this DS9, the station was
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen this.
Yeah.
What the hell? What was the Doctor's plan when he? Did he have a plan?
Oh, when he was relieving her of command?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Well, that's what was so funny after it. She's like, okay, what you gonna do, Boo? There's 7 of us on this ship. What are you gonna do? But I kind of liked it because like
I thought. I mean,
he's
it was
seeing her break down.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I was
it's
like, okay. Well, what are we doing then?
It's kind of like Captain Ahab, right? And I like again, like I like the whole plot of the ship kind of getting its ass kicked, but I also like the idea of the 2 captains kind of mirroring each other in a lot of ways. Anorax, in a lot of ways, is very similar to Janeway. Her devotion, even when it's like, lady, this is over. And same with Anorax. Mm-hmm. Anorax, like, we're never going to get it back to how it was. And he's like, no, we're going to keep fighting through it. And Janeway keeps fighting through it.
His Eric, I'll call him.
Yeah.
Isn't that his son?
Oh,
Eric,
the other guy. Yeah. Let's just call him Eric.
Eric Foreman. Yeah.
Eric Foreman. Yeah.
He was like, we've annihilated 98% of everything.
98%, and he's like, but is my wife alive?
Yeah.
And like, nah.
No,
yeah.
but
yeah.
And that was yeah.
All I have is this lock of her hair. So sad and creepy, actually. Kind of creepy. Where did he get this hair?
Drapes. Carpet.
Oh dear.
It's a long piece of hair.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That was very straight hair too. It doesn't really line up. Unless he uses a straightener on it every day.
Yeah.
So I liked her devotion to the ship. Mm-hmm. I love this. I actually really enjoy the scene where she's like, like going through the ship and she's like talking to the ship, like it's fighting her. Or the scene where she has to go into the fire and she's like, like just kind of like talk.
I've talked to my car when I'm like, okay, this thing's going to die.
It's like, you're going to do this to me. I can't believe you're going to do this to me.
We can get there. Yeah. We can get there.
And she storms through the fire and does all that.
Stay with me.
Yeah. And she like burns her skin and everything.
But that's the same. Like I could see Adama doing that. Adama talked to the.
Yep.
I think he did talk to the ship at some point during
all the time. Yep, he did. He did. And he would storm through fire to save that ship. He would do those things. Yeah,
he did. Like I mean.
Yeah,
even to the bitter end.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, gosh, blood on the scales, man. That episode, the mutiny on that ship, good episode.
I loved. That's what it made me feel. It felt like Star Trek could be Battlestar Galactica.
It could have been if Ronald Moore was able to get his way with Voyager, but he didn't, which is why he left the series, which results in him making Battlestar Galactica. So
true.
It's kind of like you got the best of both worlds.
We got the best of both worlds.
Boom, 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 boom.
I hate you for that. I
welcome.
really didn't. Brody comment on my.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
your face when you started singing that. There's a couple other things that I really like. Chakotay trying to give her the watch or and she's and she's like melt this, like she again because she was so hyper focused on the ship. She's like, we can't afford the waste. But then her finding it later and then it becoming like she wore it all the time because she had lost focus and it helps her refocus.
Then time's up.
Time's up. Yeah. If you're gonna use a catchphrase, you might as well use a good.
I'm like, what is this? CSI?
I know.
CSI Miami.
Ow! We should put on sunglasses.
I watched that show, my wife, just for the opening sequence.
Yeah.
Just for the cold opens.
Just for the cold opens, man. I'm like, this is fantastic.
As soon as the theme song hits, you just leave.
I'm out. 10 out of 10. This episode is perfect.
There's got to be a compilation on YouTube.
A super cut of all of that.
I'm sure there is.
Now I got to watch YouTube. Thanks, guys.
You were introduced to 7 of 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is who I'm going to get the restraining order for.
You're in a week.
Yeah, in a week. So this is...
she was all right.
Yeah. She talks like a Borg still.
Yeah.
Assimilation chances are low. Like, I love that. Like, just... So the whole point of her character, and it's a little bit of a spoiler, but she was a Borg, and they rescue her, and then they bring her back. And it turns out she was like a little kid when she was assimilated. She was like 6 or 7 years old when she was assimilated. So she lived her whole life as a Borg, basically. And so now they're trying to reintegrate her and teach her how to be a human again.
De-Borg her?
De-Borgify her. And as you can see, sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't go well. And apparently she has to wear the cat suit because it helps her heal.
Yes, it helped me heal.
For some reason, it was all the men who are like, yes, that cat suit. You have to wear that.
Yeah.
It helps. It helps.
And the women are like, can't she just wear a hospital gown? No. Tight.
It's all the wheelchair ridden men out there were like, I can walk.
I was just thinking about like her as an actress. Like there's that one scene where she's climbing through the turbo or the Jeffrey's tube, and she sees like how uncomfortable in that skin tight suit to be climbing like that, and just, I mean, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do, brother?
And then poor Tuvok was blinded. That's just unfortunate when she's
blinded.
Is he gonna get one of those things?
Visors?
One of those things?
Like the Geordie had?
Like they can't do it there. They don't have the ability.
Stupid.
Yeah. Blinded by the light.
Because it would have been great because it would be another black guy with the thing.
Yeah.
Well, the emergency hologram program, he's not a very good doctor then.
He's a bum.
Yeah.
So far, he's my least favorite character.
But you can't tell me his speech wasn't great. Like when he
his
started
speech was
doing
good, but I was like,
and they're like, oh gosh.
It was, but I was like, when he, and I liked the scene where he relieved her of duty.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, what's your plan? What are you gonna do then? Like, what's the plan?
Yeah, there is no plan here.
But she was deteriorating.
She was. Like the only way for the episode to end was for her to die.
But clearly it worked, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh, what if it didn't work? Oh no.
No. Clearly his relieving her of duties worked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Totally.
She's like, yeah, whatever. Get the beat off.
She said,
go get out of here.
She said, that's cute.
Yeah. That's cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah. Anything else from this episode? What else we got? We got Kurtwood Smith was awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So
I would have loved to have more of Kurtwood Smith. He could have been a great
villain,
like a
but not a villain,
character.
like a sympathetic villain.
Could he have been a con where the legacy lasted forever?
Well, but like
Ricardo Montalban?
I'm betting you.
Oh, Khan?
Yeah.
Let's say they made this a whole season. I'm sure they could have got him for the full season, and it would just be an overarching thing.
Well, he was going to come in and out. They said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need to be in every episode.
No.
Not every episode has to revolve around them getting their butt kicks. But like, there's something to this idea of like having a good actor like that portray this character where you almost root for the bad guy a little bit, like. And you see why Chakotay kind of takes a side. I get what he's doing because he manipulated him. He's like, the first time it worked, the second time I screwed it up, and now I'm trying to go back and reverse all my decisions. So Chakotay buys it at first, and I get that, especially knowing that when you eliminate these species, it doesn't mean they're kind of completely eliminated, because if you do another calculation, you can somehow bring them back. Uh-oh, you got something else?
No, no.
Okay, all right.
So I actually love the premise of this, of trying to correct time and how it can ruin things at the same time.
The butterfly effect.
Yeah, we've all been asked that question. Would you do anything differently?
Yeah.
But doing one thing differently in your life could affect so many different ways.
Right.
And just think, if we changed one thing, I'm not really sure. But do we have this podcast and bring joy to the 3 people that listen to it?
No, we don't do that now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's fascinating. And even just like Chakotay going through that experience where he's like, well, if we just eliminate this one meteor or this comet, then he's like, congratulations, you just eliminated 50 species and 8 billion.
Wasn't it like 800 species or something like that?
Yeah, it was something absurd, right? Yeah, because that includes non-sentient species, right? And this idea that something as simple as a comet releases,
releases spores.
I was just trying to think.
Releases seed.
Wow, all I can think. Yeah, this comet ejaculates onto the planet and creates new life. Right?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, like it was kind of a cool concept. I love that concept about how messy time really can be. And it reminds me. Remember that movie back in the day, The Butterfly Effect?
I love that movie.
That was such a good movie. It ends with him killing himself in the womb. The alternate ending does. He strangles himself.
I love that movie. That movie, like,
so good with Ashton Kutcher. Actually,
yeah, that movie kind of.
Sarah Polly.
I don't know. That movie kind of changed me.
It was
the way I view things.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah,
like everything has this ripple effect, and one
small
every small decision ripples into the next small decision because it opens. It's basically like a cootie catcher of life. Like every.
Yep. Yeah,
I love that movie.
it's a really good movie. You ever see that one?
The concept. No.
I saw.
I can't speak on the acting. I don't remember the acting.
I don't really remember too much.
But the concept
it
was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Ashton Kutcher, so I'm gonna guess it wasn't Academy Award winning.
Yeah.
Performance, but who was the female, the woman in that movie?
Sarah Polley.
Yes.
She.
I don't know who that is.
You know who Sarah Polley is.
She was in
Do I?
Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, Sarah Polley. That was her.
Yeah.
Right? I'm pretty sure that was her.
I think so.
Maybe not. I could be wrong on this. Amy Smart.
Oh, yeah, I know who Amy Smart is.
Amy
Scrubs.
Smart. Yes. Tasty Coma wife. TCW.
Yep.
What is it? The Road Trip?
Yes, Road Trip as well. Yep, Amy Smart. Also, what's that movie that she did with the
Amy
actor,
Smart.
the not the actor, the stunt guy, the action flick movie. Amy Smart action movie. Gosh, and it's gonna kill me. Crank. She did Crank.
With Jason Statham.
yeah.
Where it's like the guy's heart, if it goes below a certain speed, he'll die. So like, there's one scene where they're like having sex on a NASCAR track or something like that, and like,
God,
and it's meant to be like goofy and funny, and he's like fighting someone as they're having sex, and people
Hot.
cheering for them. And
Crank. No, I know what it's called.
Crank.
yeah. So, there's a couple other things. So first of all, this wasn't actually the first time you're introduced to the Krenim. They were introduced in a third season episode as well. And an episode titled Before and After. So you already know that they exist. They're this,
Oh, yes. I read this.
yeah. So
that it set this up.
It set this up, right?
I thought they were formidable as a foe.
Yes.
Again,
Yes.
this could have worked longer form.
This could have worked longer.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah. It shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yep. I'm trying.
I liked in the beginning where she's like, oh, "What a week of hell."
This is turning into the week of hell.
Yeah.
She said it.
She said the thing. She said the thing.
She said the thing. I'm looking at any other production notes that I got here. Anything that pops out. I don't think I have anything else good.
I didn't read like I usually would on these 'cause I just didn't have time.
Yeah. I did a little reading after, just especially on this one, because this is the one that I knew that I didn't know the name of the pilot, but obviously there is a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew this one from like best of Star Trek lists. It always makes lists.
It's always in the top 10. Yeah, this is a top 10 one for them, and it's a good one. So there you go. That's Year of Hell.
All right, I'm ready for the cruise.
You are. You know everything you need to know.
You know
about
everything you
Voyager
need to know
at this point. You really do.
Spoiler alert, they don't get home.
Chakotay isn't coming on the cruise. Robert Beltran is not coming.
I thought he was.
No, he canceled.
Okay.
He's the one that he did cancel.
He canceled.
How far do you think I can get talking Voyager with people just from these 2 episodes?
That would be a fun challenge. And like, we should like start a conversation with a random group of people and be like, what's your favorite Voyager episode?
There's like Year of Hell.
And you go into like super detail about Year of Hell. And they're like, well, what about this one? He's like, yeah, that one was okay. But in Year of Hell,
yeah.
Just keep redirecting.
And Caretaker. I love
Caretaker.
Caretaker was good.
I like Caretaker. I like Caretaker a lot. Yeah. I will say they do a good job. There's some really good villains in Voyager that I totally have forgotten about. Like, I forgot how good of a villain Anarax was. But they do other good villains, I felt like. They do Species 8472 or whatever, which is...
8479, wasn't it?
No, 2.
2?
Yeah.
Nerds.
I like the Hirogen. I thought the Hirogen were cool. They were basically like
yes.
predator species. There's the Vidians with the phage, which is a really cool one. Kazon sucked. Kazon's
terrible.
Kazon were meant to be kind of like a play off the Klingons.
Terrible.
But they're terrible. They're never really great. And they're a big part of the plot of the first season. But they're not.
They stuck on way too long.
They stuck around way too long. Yeah. It's good.
Robert Duncan McNeil, the guy who played Tom Paris, is only on the cruise, the first half of the cruise. I guess.
Yeah, he is. He's the one who wasn't
Beat it.
originally going to be able to come, and he decided he was able to come.
How's he getting off mid-cruise?
I don't know.
Brandon Brega's going to be on, who was the showrunner.
They send out boats, or what's going on? They beam up?
Well, it's the same. They rotate stand-up comedians.
I know, but he's getting off the ship mid-cruise?
Yeah, they'll probably just fly him home.
They're going to beam him off.
From where? He's going to get out at the Mayan ruins? He's going to go on the excursion, and they're
going to take a helo to airport, and there you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Only going for half a cruise is wild. Fuck this cruise.
Only go for half the cruise and probably getting paid for half the cruise.
Yeah.
But getting paid to go on a cruise.
Yeah.
That's all right.
We're getting paid to go on a cruise.
We are?
Aren't we?
Are we?
No.
Oh.
We are?
We are clearly not getting paid for that.
Okay, question about the cruise.
Yeah.
What do you think I will be the person who knows the least amount of Star Trek on the cruise?
I think it's a high probability.
I think that's very likely.
I thought so too. I think even partners and spouses who go, if you're with somebody who's going to go on a Star Trek cruise, I'm going to guess you've probably watched a fair amount of Star Trek with that person.
Well, okay, let me rephrase this. I don't
Unless
think
the
you're the
partner's
least knowledgeable, but I think you're the least all-around knowledgeable. Because I think you could go into great detail about DS9, where a spouse, when it's on in the background, and be like, I don't know, there was that alien guy with the ridges on the face.
I'll give you $20 if you could walk up to somebody and go, wait a second. Is this like a Star Trek cruise? $20.
Okay.
All right.
And
you gotta let me film it.
That's an easy bet.
Okay.
All right.
That's an easy bet. While being in cosplay of Star Trek stuff. That'd be funny.
I've noticed. Let me ask you a question. I've noticed the last couple of days.
We were talking a lot about.
There's a lot of Star Trek stuff here.
What's with all the outfits and the things?
Are we supposed?
My friends told me we're going on this cruise, but is this a Star Trek cruise?
Are all cruises like this?
Yeah. Are all cruises like this?
Yeah. Because I don't think I want to go on a cruise ever again.
All cruises smell this bad?
Let's give them ratings. Let's give Caretaker 1 and 2.
Oof.
A rating.
Okay.
I'm not going to write any of these down because we're going to, we'll do this
eventually.
Yeah. This is tough because I don't know. What the hell do I know?
Yeah. Well,
the pilot you could rate.
Yeah, I could rate the pilot because it would be just.
Well, you're really rating Caretaker against Next Generation right now.
Well, you're writing it. You're in a bubble with this.
Yeah, I mean, rating it in the context of Next Generation, it's a 10. I would say it's a 7.5. It's a solid 7.5.
That's kind of where I'm at. 7.75. Yeah, for this.
Same.
Yeah, same. Okay. All right. And then Year of Hell.
Now this is even more difficult because there's so much potential here.
And there's a reset button. Yeah.
And there's a reset button.
You hate reset
so
buttons.
It cannot be a 10. I feel like I'm gonna say 9.
Okay.
I wanted to say 8.5, but it was better than that. 9. The reset button takes a half point away, and the fact that this could have been even better.
Yeah.
I
could have.
So I'm going to say 9.
9.
I'll give it like a 9-ish.
I'm probably in the 8 area, give or take.
I'm probably in 9.5-ish. And the reset button is what gets it knocked down. This could have been I think it's a good Star Trek, actually, like a good story too. Like this idea.
There's substance to it.
Yes.
Yeah. This villainous people who can basically commit genocide and not even really think it's genocide because, well, they never existed in the first place. No one ever knew they existed. We're the only ones to ever know they existed. So therefore, how could it be genocide?
I like that it's not even real true genocide. He's just looking for his wife.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He's like, ultimately at the end of the day.
Look, I got no problem with you guys, but you're not my wife, so
yeah,
gone.
And he says that he says it to Voyager. He's like, I got nothing against you. You're not my enemy, but I haven't been laid in 200 years.
You're in the way.
I need to bust this slump.
Closer to.
You're making me further from.
Yeah.
And you need to go away. So, there we go. We've made it through the entirety of Voyager in just one episode.
Now I can email the crews and let them know that I've seen some Voyager, and they can let me back on the ship.
Yep, exactly. Perfect. So next week's episode is going to be a cruise episode, folks. You're going to get to hear what's going on the cruise. Hopefully we're going to try to get some conversations with some people, but we'll see what we can do.
We don't know what we're doing yet.
We've never been on these, so I don't know how easy it would be to get, a one-off conversation with an actor
or even an attendant
or whoever. So we'll figure it out. But it's going to be
an employee,
an attendee.
Oh, attendee.
Yeah, and we'll
passenger.
Yeah, we'll talk to some people. We're gonna obviously go back to Next Generation after we get done with our cruise stuff. So we'll be back with.
I think there's 1 week off somewhere in there though. Completely.
There's gonna be a week off in there. So, but we'll be back. We love you all. This has been a blast. Keeping up with the Cardassians. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for keeping up with us. We will see you in Belize. Bye.
Bye.
Better Belize it. You better Belize it. You better Belize it.